It was a cold Thursday night in Manhattan when our company held its annual gala at a luxury five-star hotel. I'd asked my wife, Olivia, to join me, partly because I wanted her to meet my colleagues, and partly because I wanted her to see the side of my life I rarely shared. She looked breathtaking in a shimmering silver gown, her smile lighting up the room with effortless grace. Everywhere she went, eyes followed. The hall buzzed with conversation. Champagne glasses clinked, and laughter echoed softly beneath the chandeliers. I stayed close to Olivia, quietly watching her charm room as my co-workers greeted her with polite smiles and curious glances. She seemed at ease, glowing under the attention, and I couldn't help but feel proud, though somewhere deep inside, a faint unease stirred. That's when Jonathan appeared, my boss, tall, sharply dressed, exuding the kind of confidence that bordered on arrogance. He approached with a wide smile and greeted Olivia like they were long-lost friends. "You look absolutely stunning tonight," he said, the words rolling off his tongue a little too smoothly. I managed a polite smile, hiding the flicker of irritation beneath the surface. As the night went on, everyone took their seats at the main dining table. The room buzzed with laughter and chatter, but somehow the spotlight always seemed to drift back to Olivia, especially whenever she laughed. Then, out of nowhere, Jonathan leaned forward, his voice loud enough to command attention. "I think we can all agree Olivia belongs to me tonight," he announced dramatically. For a second, the whole table went silent. Then a few of the junior staff laughed awkwardly, glasses clinking as if to diffuse the tension, while some senior colleagues exchanged uncertain looks. Olivia froze, her smile wavering, unsure how to respond. I felt my jaw tighten, a wave of heat crawling up my neck. Jonathan chuckled and gestured toward her. "Seriously, she's a highlight of the evening. Lucky me to have her here." More laughter followed, lighthearted for them, uncomfortable for us. I drew a slow breath, waiting for the right moment. Then I raised my hand slightly, catching the attention of those around. "If I may," I said evenly, my tone calm but steady enough to make Jonathan glance my way. The chatter faded, curiosity hanging in the air. Jonathan smirked, thinking he still had control of the room. "Oh, Jason, don't kill the fun," he teased. I didn't flinch. My gaze stayed fixed on him, then on Olivia. "I think it's time we clear something up," I said quietly, the words slicing through the air. "Olivia isn't Jonathan's. She's mine, and not just for tonight." The laughter stopped entirely. A few eyebrows lifted as silence took hold. Then, with a small, composed smile, I added, "And for the record, Jonathan, I own this company. Every department, every decision, including this event." The shift in the room was immediate. Jonathan's smirk collapsed, his face pale with realization. The junior staff, who'd been laughing moments earlier, fell silent, exchanging uneasy glances. Olivia exhaled softly beside me, a faint smile returning as relief replaced her discomfort. I reached over and gently brushed her hand, grounding her in that moment. Jonathan stammered, I didn't mean," but I lifted a finger to stop him. "No need, Jonathan. The point's been made." The atmosphere changed completely. Laughter turned to quiet respect. I leaned back slightly, allowing the calm authority of my words to settle. "This company runs on respect," I said, measured and steady. "And respect begins with knowing boundaries, both personal and professional." Several colleagues nodded subtly, understanding the weight of what had just been said. Olivia's fingers tightened around mine, her eyes shimmering with gratitude. Her silent thank you meant more than anything spoken aloud. Jonathan's arrogance faded into embarrassment, the color rising in his cheeks. Those who had laughed earlier sat a little straighter, realizing they had underestimated the situation. The rest of the evening went on without another remark from Jonathan. He kept his distance, trying to recover his dignity, but the boundary had already been drawn. Later, as we stepped away from the crowd, Olivia leaned close and whispered, "I didn't know what to do back there. Thank you for standing up for me." I smiled softly, brushing a loose strand of hair from her face. "It's my job to protect you, especially when others forget what really matters." The gala carried on smoothly after that, the air lighter, the staff more respectful, the laughter genuine once again. Jonathan avoided eye contact, and the balance of power had quietly shifted back where it belonged. That night, as we drove home under the city lights, Olivia rested her head on my shoulder and whispered, "You made me feel safe and proud." I squeezed her hand, understanding that love, authority, and respect could coexist when handled with patience and quiet strength. In the days that followed, the story of that dinner table moment spread to the company like a soft legend, a tale of respect, restraint, and dignity. Olivia and I would laugh about it later, but the memory stayed sharp, because sometimes true authority isn't loud. It's calm, precise, and commands respect without ever needing to raise its voice.